Hello everyone, Bob here. Well, I finished my trek through the Friday the 13th films, and I only thought it was fitting. Hello everyone, Bob here. I have finished my trek through the Friday the 13th films, and I have decided to do one more video. This one will be a ranking video, and that will close out the Friday the 13th films for now until that box set from Scream Factory arrives this October. Franchise started out at humble beginnings. It was a low-budget film with gory makeup effects from Tom Savini, and that morphed into a long 12-film franchise that is currently in its longest hiatus yet, as legal battles over who has the rights to the Jason Voorhees character loom. So without further ado, let's get to the rankings. It shouldn't come as any surprise that Jason Takes Manhattan is the lowest film on this totem pole. There isn't just a whole lot of redeeming factors about this movie. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoy watching it from time to time, but it really has issues. Performances, as a general rule, aren't that great. It's just nowhere near as good as the rest of the films of the franchise. Kane Hodder does a good job as always as Jason, but and then it was kind of interesting to get kind of an 80s pop rock song on the at the opening for Darkest Side of the Night. But all in all, the rest of the films of the franchise are better, so that's why this film's at the bottom of the list. Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, was Kane Hodder's debut as Jason Voorhees, and it was also, in terms of makeup, I thought the best looking Jason out of all of them. This film had the potential to be really something special, but the MPAA ruled like with an iron fist at the time, and they would not let much gore in this film. So if only those deleted gore effects would have been included, this one might rank a lot higher in the franchise. But as it is, I still enjoy it from time to time, but it isn't without its problems. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. The version of this to watch is the unrated version with all the effects edited back in. It's definitely a lot more fun to watch it that way, and you could even make the argument that the film would move up a couple slots on this list if you were watching the unedited version. But as it is, this is certainly the strangest Friday the 13th movie on this out of the franchise, and you just kind of, I don't know, it's a fun movie to watch, but it definitely is the one that feels so far out of place in this franchise. Freddy vs. Jason could have been a lot better than it was. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a decent enough horror movie, but I felt like the standalone films for most of the series, the Friday the 13th ones or the Nightmare on Elm Street ones for that matter, were better, and I would rather watch them. So don't get me wrong, I do watch Freddy vs. Jason and everything, but it doesn't deserve to be ranked higher on this list than this, because I like the individual Friday the 13th movies better. Jason X is a guilty pleasure of mine. It's one of those movies that's so bad it's good. It's certainly a fun movie to watch, as long as you don't take it seriously. I would rather watch it than the ones that are lower on this list, obviously, but then there's a lot of things that I would rather watch Jason X over, but it's just one of those movies that you watch and you can't help but laugh, and it's just fun all the way around. Part 2 would rank a lot higher on this list, was it not for the child psychology thing between Jenny and Jason at the end. I never really liked that part of this movie. I thought it was kind of a cheap way out at the end. But I suppose in all, if that's all I've got to complain about the movie for, that's not much, but it was enough. It brought it down a few levels to me. There are certainly other endings in this series I thought were done much better. The original, the one that started it all. Like I say, it was a low-budget movie. Tom Savini did the gore effects, which we do have an uncut version of it out now. I do have fun watching this movie. It's just I enjoy some of the other movies with Jason in them more. This is a solid early 80s slasher film, and it's one that started it all, so it comes recommended. I know a lot of people dislike Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, because of the twist at the end about who the killer is. It doesn't bother me that much. The film itself, it definitely feels like it fits in with the earlier films in the franchise. Like I say, there are two distinct eras of the Friday the 13th franchise. There's the early era, and there's the later era where Jason's more zombie, which, granted, I know he's technically dead and a zombie in the earlier versions of the entries in the franchise after some of the wounds he goes through there, but it's more obvious in the later ones, and that's why the earlier movies have a different feel than when after he's zombie Jason, and Part 5 fits in with those earlier movies. It's definitely a fun entry. The 2009 remake also fits in with those earlier entries, and it's a fun horror movie to watch. I get that a lot of people don't like it, and that's fine. A lot of people probably say it's heresy that this film is this high on my list. But it feels the most like those early Friday the 13th movies of anything since Part 5. And it's definitely a fun movie to watch. And I think if people go back and watch it with an open mind, I think they'll like it a lot better than they did the first time around. Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D. No, with all seriousness, I hardly ever watch Part 3 with those cardboard 3D glasses on. But it will be interesting when Scream Factory does come out with that box set, because it is going to be in digital 3D along with the regular 2D presentation, so that's exciting. But as for the film itself, Jason gets his iconic hockey mask in this one. It's a fun entry early in the franchise, and if it wasn't for Part 4 being so great, it would be my favorite of the early ones. But as it is, this is one I would definitely recommend. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. This is the quintessential early era Jason film. It is a lot of fun to watch. You have the Tommy Jarvis character played by Corey Feldman, and it's just a blast from start to finish. The effects are good. The suspense is good. It's built well. There's easily tension added from the music. Everything from this movie was firing on all cylinders. Crispin Glover, who would go on to be George McFly in Back to the Future's in this, and it's just a fun movie all the way around. And this is one of the 2 Friday the 13th movies that I think every horror fan should see. Of course, that leaves for number 1, Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. This is the film, while I know it's technically probably not as good or well made as Part 4, I love watching this movie. I have a blast watching this movie. And if I think I want to watch Friday the 13th movie, this is the one I put in. This one is a lot of fun. The effects are good without being over the top. And the whole segment at the beginning where Tommy Jarvis digs Jason up is, to me, one of the most iconic moments in the whole series. And there's so many good lines and such subtle humor in this that it's definitely worth checking out, and I recommend that all horror fans see this movie. Well, guys, that's my ranking of the Friday the 13th franchise, and like I say, this is the last video I will post on the subject until later when I get my hands on that Scream Factory Blu-ray set. Let me know how your order differs from mine, but thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, please give me a like. Please consider subscribing to this channel. I try to have new content up daily. Doesn't always work that way, but that's my goal. Follow me on Facebook or Twitter. Just search for Bob the Film Guy. And for now, this is Bob signing off.